Hi, my name's Ant Valente. I'm a Senior Paid Search Executive here at Click Consult, and today I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking to you about some tips for setting up reports within Google Data Studio. So the first thing you need to make sure you're doing is making sure that you're tracking all the actions that you want to track your users making on your website. So that could just initially start with just tracking, say, like button clicks or simple page views on the site. But then further down the line, you might potentially want to be tracking more complex actions, such as moving up to maybe form completions and details within those, and then also looking into something like enhanced e-commerce within Google Analytics, which gives you a lot more visibility on how far users are getting through the funnel, so looking at exactly what types of products users are purchasing on your website, all that sort of thing. So once you've kind of got all the actions, that's until you're tracking those, you can't really necessarily report exactly how you want to. Second thing you need to be mindful of is making sure that you're obviously tracking exactly where this traffic is coming from as well. So making sure everything is tagged up correctly, coming from different sources. So for Google Ads and Bing Ads, usually that's quite straightforward. You can just enable auto tagging, whereas something like social channels and email, a lot of the time you need to be making sure that you are manually tagging things up effectively. So making sure you're using things like UTM tags on the end of your URLs, or perhaps within tracking templates, just to make sure that you know exactly which channels users are coming through, and then completing those actions on your website, because obviously that will give you the informed decisions as to exactly which channels are working and what aspects of those channels you need to be working on. Once you finally get into Data Studios, obviously there's quite a few things that you can do within there that are quite simple and straightforward, but two of the key things that I'd say you really want to look at are things like blended data sources and also custom metrics. So just starting with blended data sources, basically this enables you to kind of combine different bits of data from all the different sources or channels that users are coming through. So that could be combining data for Google Ads and Bing Ads, looking at the total costs, total clicks coming through those channels, but also do you want to potentially combine your Bing Ads, say, cost and traffic data with the revenue data that you've got in Google Analytics, so you can do that with blended data sources as well. So in order to actually make sure that you're combining those data sources effectively, you need to have something called a join key. So basically that's a dimension where Google Data Studio can see that they are basically one and the same thing. Otherwise, if you haven't got a join key set up correctly, say with like campaign names, then it's very difficult for Google Data Studio to actually match that data up effectively. So that's why you need to be quite wary of that. The other thing you need to be more mindful of as well are filters. So if you try and set them up within a blended data source, a lot of the time what you will need to do is set up your filters within that source, so not trying to kind of apply filters afterwards. Once you've blended all the data together, you'll need to filter your Google Ads data and your Bing Ads data in order for that to work effectively. Otherwise, things will just become a mess and Google Data Studio will just start not recognizing exactly where this data is coming from. So just be very mindful of that. Quite often takes a little bit of trial and error to see what's working, but eventually you will end up getting there, and there's lots of help guides intended to help you with that. The other feature that's really useful within Google Data Studio is the use of custom metrics. Now this has become a lot more powerful, that they've allowed you to use these within blended sources as well. So this enables you to combine things such as, say, an ROI value for your Bing Ads and Google Analytics revenue data. So you can kind of see exactly what the ROI is for that particular channel. You can obviously do that with Facebook as well. So with Google Ads, it's already quite straightforward. So you've already got that ROAS data within there, but with Bing Ads and Facebook and any of your other channels, you would need to combine those together in order for that to work effectively. So another thing you could do as well is to combine click and cost data from all your advertising channels, so you can see exactly how much you're spending across all of your advertising platforms. So that could include all of your social channels, Google Ads, Bing Ads, and any other platforms you happen to be using as well. So these could be really, really useful to actually kind of get loads of different things that you want to see. There could be other things that you might potentially want to look at as well. Those were just a couple of examples. So the last thing I want to speak about is just getting creative. So it's fine to start with a simple report, But what you'll want to do is probably look at other ideas and other opportunities. You'll be having discussions within other people, probably within your team or your peers, or even people you're reporting to in terms of your line managers, in terms of other things that people want visibility on. And that might be things you want more visibility on, or everyone else wants more visibility on. Look for new ideas of exactly what different metrics you want to look at, how you'd want to report on that, how you want to segment that different traffic. Because you might start off just by looking Google Ads very top level, for example, but what you might want to do is break it down into different campaign types, looking at perhaps as well different products or product types that you're selling on your website. So it's kind of looking at different opportunities for segmenting that out further, getting creative with it. So making sure as well that you're staying up to date with all the new features that are coming out in Google Data Studio. So obviously it's a free tool, quite a lot of new functionality has come out with it over the last year or so, and Google are still kind of building on feedback from users as well in terms of what to feed into that. So there's probably a good chance that if it's not able to do it now, at some point within the next year or so, that feature might become available. So just making sure as soon as that opportunity is there for you to report on what you want to, you can make sure you get that in there. So if you want to find out a little bit more detailed information, or to perhaps see some screenshots of exactly what I'm talking about here, there will be an attached blog post alongside this as well, just to complement sort of what we've talked about here today. So thanks very much and enjoy the rest of your day.